With All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing event on the horizon, now is a better time than ever for the WWE to step up and show why they are the big dogs in the wrestling game. However, they didn't prove that last night, as Monday Night Raw was far from impressive. It was filled with cringy and sometimes confusing moments. The WWE seems to be spinning ever further down the ratings pit, and leading us to wonder how many more wrestlers want to break free from the proverbial jail that Jon Moxley broke out of. The show opened up with Mr. McMahon making his way down to the ring, ready to address the Cincinnati crowd. But he was swiftly interrupted by SmackDown Live's newest acquisition, Roman Reigns, showing up on the brand just 3 weeks after the Superstar shakeup. The brand split was then diluted further with the returning Daniel Bryan, as well as WWE Champion Kofi Kingston also showing up. What in the world is going on as Wrestlelamia takes a look at last night's Raw and the real reason behind Vince McMahon's Wildcard Rule? During the verbal exchanges that opened up Raw, Vince had an epiphany and decided that he wanted to introduce a Wildcard Rule. This meant that 3 SmackDown Live competitors are allowed to appear on Monday Night Raw each week, and 3 superstars are allowed to appear on SmackDown Live. That's at least what we think that he meant, since Vince botched the promo and said the Wildcard Rule is 3 members of SmackDown could be invited to Raw, 3 members of SmackDown could be invited to SmackDown. You understand what I'm trying to say? But AJ's reaction said it all, with this being more proof that even Mr. McMahon himself didn't understand what he's doing anymore. We'll get into the real reason behind the new Wildcard Rule later on in the video, but for now let's have a quick review of Raw. As well as the new card rule, 2 WrestleMania 35 matches were booked for later on in the show. The first was Drew McIntyre taking on Roman Reigns, but the match was interrupted by Elias and Shane McMahon, leading to a Roman Reigns DQ victory. The other Mania rematch saw the WWE Championship on the line in the main event, as the New Day's Kofi Kingston and former WWE Champion Daniel Bryan went one-on-one, with Kofi managing to pick up the victory after hitting the Trouble in Paradise. For some odd reason, Eric Rowan was noticeably absent from Daniel Bryan's corner, adding more inconsistencies to WWE's booking. Perhaps he just didn't get an invite to Raw. At the end of the first segment, Vince McMahon forced Money in the Bank opponents AJ Styles and Seth Rollins to team up against Bobby Lashley and guess who? Yep, you got it, Hulk Hogan. No, wait, Baron Corbin. The 2 babyfaces worked together throughout the match with a common goal in mind, victory of course. However, later on in the match, it looked like Styles was going to hit Baron Corbin with the phenomenal forearm, but he managed to strike Seth Rollins instead, taking the Architect out. At first it appeared to be a miscommunication, but then the supposed accident came into question as AJ got to his feet with no sign of remorse on his face. He then casually climbed out of the ring, walked up to the ramp to boos from the audience. This left a prone Seth Rollins in the middle of the ring, and naturally Baron Corbin took advantage and hit the end of days and managed to score the 1-2-3. Of course, AJ's actions are to further tensions between the two leading up to the WWE Universal Championship match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. After that, Sami Zayn had continued to cut scathing promos belittling the WWE Universe week after week. He spoke about how happy his time was away from the WWE fans as he travelled the world to find himself. We can only imagine he'll be off travelling once again after last night's burial by Braun Strowman. The monster among men interrupted Sami's rant as he attempted to retreat through the crowd. The agile Strowman chased Zayn backstage where Braun would eventually get his hands on him. The monster would then throw him into a dumpster before a garbage truck took Sami away. So now you can add Sami Zayn to the list of Braun's list of burials alongside EC3, and it is yet to be seen if this is the last we see of Zayn for a while. Apart from that, the future is looking pretty bleak for the Revival too, as they reportedly wait out the rest of their contract. After last week's back-shaving fiasco, the Usos continue to embarrass the former NXT Tag Champions. This week, the twins managed to trick the Revival into applying Oos hot cream to their bodies. This caused them to sweat profusely in the ring, and of course flop around like a bunch of idiots. This is surely the WWE's last attempt to make their team less valuable before allegedly joining the Young Bucks over in All Elite Wrestling. But what about the reason for the Wildcard Rule? With the WWE adding in the Wildcard Rule, it's left many fans confused as to why they decided to implement it. While many have speculated that it could be the end of the brand split, it actually has to do more with ratings. Dave Meltzer spoke about the change on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio. Fox wanted more storylines that are going to be on both Raw and Smackdown. You know, NBC Universal was really upset about the ratings, especially in the third hour, and was asking questions about our ratings are this and this. Why'd we give away Roman Reigns? With Fox seemingly worried about WWE's ratings before they've even aired this show, will Fox back out of the deal? It'll be interesting to see where the WWE goes on from here, as they attempt to turn the ratings around. But if last night's show was any indication, it's not looking good for old Vinnie Mac. But there you have it guys, the real reason behind the new Wildcard Rule. And sadly, the brand split isn't ending. Do you guys think it should end? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.